Think your Dolby Atmos soundbar is loud? Most of them collapse the moment you turn the volume up. In 2026, only a few systems can deliver real, room-shaking loudness without distortion or buried dialogue. In this video, I reveal the loudest Dolby Atmos soundbars that actually survive full volume playback. Hit subscribe, like, and drop a comment for what you want to see next on Interface Craft. Number 10. Sony HT-A7000 Dolby Atmos Soundbar with optional sub and rear speakers. The Sony HT-A7000 earns the number 10 spot because it delivers surprisingly powerful volume and dynamic headroom for a standalone soundbar without needing to top the charts. Sony's approach here prioritizes efficiency and clarity, translating into sound that doesn't just play loud, but remains coherent and controlled as SPL, sound pressure level, increases. In real listening rooms, this amplifier-rich unit can fill medium to large spaces with strong front and height layers, especially when paired with Sony's optional wireless subwoofer and rear speakers. At higher volumes, the HT-A7000 maintains separation between channels rather than collapsing into a wall of noise, which is a critical trait for a loud Atmos setup. That consistent balance between volume and composure is what earns it a place on this list. Many soundbars can get louder, but quickly become muddy and fatiguing. With the A7000, even when you push past comfortable levels, distortion remains low and the soundstage retains dimensionality, a result of Sony's careful driver layout and DSP calibration. Bass performance, with an added subwoofer, gains physical weight without overwhelming dialogue or mid-range detail, and height effects remain present rather than turning into indistinct overhead mush. While it doesn't match the sheer output of the top systems here, the HT-A7000's ability to remain controlled and defined, even when driven loud, makes it a rewarding choice for buyers who want dynamic power without sacrificing clarity. This is where Atmos stops being polite and starts getting loud. If you want soundbars that actually feel powerful in real rooms, like this video, subscribe for honest audio testing and comment what room size you're targeting. Number 9. LG S95QR Dolby Atmos 5.1.2 Soundbar System, confirmed for 2026 highlights. The LG S95QR Dolby Atmos 5.1.2 soundbar system enters the list at number 9 because it pushes loudness in a multi-speaker configuration that is both expansive and energetic. While not the loudest overall, the S95QR distinguishes itself by how well it preserves directional clarity and physical punch even at high output. This system uses a combination of upward-firing channels, multiple forward-facing drivers, and wireless rear speakers to create a sound field that truly feels larger than the hardware, and that translates into a louder real-world experience. In living rooms where distance and ambient noise matter, the S95QR holds presence and detail even as SPL rises. What sets the S95QR apart in near-maximum listening levels is how it manages bass and mid-range authority. Many systems compress or distort low frequencies when pushed hard, but LG's tuning keeps bass punchy and present without overwhelming the rest of the mix. This is especially noticeable during action scenes, music with heavy rhythm, or gaming content with deep sub-effects. Dialogue clarity, often sacrificed in loud playback, remains anchored and intelligible, even as environmental effects grow loud. While the S95QR does not target ultra-aggressive output like some larger 5.1 systems, its ability to project balanced loudness that doesn't fatigue earns it a solid rank in the top 10 loudest Atmos soundbars of 2026. If you think loud means blasting bass, think again. Real loudness in Atmos also means clarity and presence. If that makes sense, like this video, subscribe for performance-based rankings, and comment what kind of content you mostly watch. Number 8. Klipsch Cinema 1200 Dolby Atmos Soundbar System. The Klipsch Cinema 1200 sits at number 8 because it's built from the ground up to do one thing well: produce huge, immediate, and muscular sound in real rooms without begging for extra gear. Klipsch's design DNA, horn-loaded mid-range drivers, high-efficiency compression drivers, and a punchy subwoofer translates directly into loudness that still sounds alive rather than simply blown out. In real-world listening, the Cinema 1200 projects energy forward with authority. Action scenes jump out of the screen, and rock or orchestral tracks gain the kind of slam that makes casual listeners feel like they're in a small venue. That forward projection is key. Loudness that reaches the back of the room, while retaining transient speed and impact, rather than turning into slow, flabby bass. Where the Klipsch shines for loud playback is its dynamic authority. The horn-based drivers deliver microdynamics with speed, so transients, gunshots, snare hits, string attacks cut through even as the overall SBL climbs. The included subwoofers provide room pressurizing low end. Placed correctly, they add visceral force without completely drowning the mid-range, which helps the system remain intelligible at high volumes. Dialogue stays reasonably anchored because of a focused center channel, though Klipsch's energetic tuning sometimes favors excitement over ultra-refined mid-range nuance. In very large rooms, the system can be stretched. It rewards correct placement and a controlled listening position. But in most living rooms, it delivers one of the most satisfying, loud, and lively experiences available in a soundbar chassis. The trade-offs are predictable and worth stating for buyers. The Klipsch trades a bit of subtlety for impact. If you want neutral, studio-style playback at whisper levels, it's not the ideal choice. But if you want a soundbar that genuinely competes with a small component system for sheer real-world SBL and visceral excitement, the Cinema 1200 is one of the loudest, most immediate Dolby Atmos options you can live with every day. Want loud sound that still feels alive? If this is the kind of performance you want, like the video, subscribe for performance-first rankings and comment whether you need power for movies or parties. Number 7. JBL Bar 9.1/JBL Bar Series High Output Models. JBL's High Output Bar Series, typified by the JBL Bar 9.1 and its louder successors in JBL's 2025 to 2026 lineup, earns number 7 because JBL has focused on maximum real-world SBL paired with wideband punch and expansive surround staging. JBL's approach mixes high-power amplifiers, sizable woofer arrays, and well-timed processing so the bar can produce very high sound pressure while keeping the presentation relatively coherent. In practice, those extra watts and larger radiators matter. The system doesn't just get loud, it keeps dialogue intelligible and effects directional as you push volume, which is rare in the louder end of the market where systems often lose their composure. The Bar series also benefits from detachable rear modules on models that include them, and strong subwoofer integration, which multiply perceived loudness because energy is delivered around the room, not only from the front. That makes JBL's systems feel bigger in messy living room environments, kids, open-plan layouts, or high ambient noise, because SBL is spread rather than concentrated. For gaming and action movies, the result is clearly impactful. Explosions, engines, and sound effect have authority and presence. Music has real body and drive. The system's tuning favors excitement and mid-bass presence, which is excellent for immediate thrill, but can be slightly forward for listeners who want a strictly neutral reference sound. Practical considerations: JBL's louder models are engineered for easy, plug-in enjoyment rather than audiophile subtlety. Expect a wide sweet spot, strong low-end energy, and a system that will get up and fill a noisy room quickly. If you want the loudest possible Atmos experience that still retains usable imaging and speech clarity, this family of JBL soundbars is a very strong contender, especially for buyers who value raw impact for parties, sports, and blockbuster viewing. Looking for earth-shaking impact without losing dialogue? If that matters, like the video, subscribe for no-nonsense loudness tests, and comment whether your room is open plan or closed. Number 6. Samsung HW-Q930D Dolby Atmos Soundbar System. The Samsung HW-Q930D earns the number 6 position because it delivers a level of room-filling loudness that stays controlled and cinematic, not chaotic. This is the point on the list where volume is no longer just about raw output, but about how well the system holds itself together as SBL rises. The Q930D uses a powerful main bar, dedicated rear speakers, and a capable subwoofer to spread sound energy across the room instead of forcing everything through the front stage. In real homes, this makes the system feel significantly louder than it's what numbers suggest, because sound pressure is distributed rather than concentrated. At higher volumes, the Q930D maintains excellent dialogue intelligibility, which is one of the hardest things to preserve when systems get loud. Explosions, music, and ambient effects surge with authority, but voices remain locked to the screen instead of being buried. This balance is critical for long movie sessions, where constant volume adjustment becomes tiring. Bass output is deep and impactful, delivering physical presence without turning boomy or loose. As volume increases, the bass remains tight enough to support the mix rather than dominate it, which helps the entire system feel cohesive rather than aggressive. Another reason this system ranks here is scalability in real rooms. In medium spaces, the Q930D feels enveloping and powerful. In larger rooms, it still manages to project energy outward without collapsing into distortion. Rear speakers contribute meaningful directional cues, which increases perceived loudness because effects arrive from multiple locations. This makes action scenes, sports broadcasts, and gaming feel more intense without requiring the system to be pushed into uncomfortable distortion. For viewers who want serious loudness that still sounds polished and controlled, the Samsung Q930D is one of the strongest performers before entering ultra-high output territory. This is where loud stops being messy and starts feeling cinematic. If you care about power and clarity, like the video, subscribe for real Atmos stress testing and comment how loud you usually listen. Number 5. Sony HT-A7000 Dolby Atmos 5.1 system with subwoofer. The Sony HT-A7000, paired with its dedicated subwoofer, earns the number 5 position because it delivers a different kind of loudness, one that feels spacious, elevated, and immersive rather than just forceful. Sony's design spreads sound across multiple physical speaker locations, which dramatically increases perceived loudness without relying solely on brute force. In real rooms, this creates an Atmos bubble that feels larger than the hardware itself. When you turn up the volume, the sound does not pile up at the front. Instead, it expands outward and upward, making the room feel filled rather than overwhelmed. What makes the HT-A7000 stand out at high volumes is spatial stability. Many soundbars lose imaging accuracy as SBL increases, but Sony's spatial processing keeps sound objects anchored in space. Helicopters remain overhead, ambient effects wrap around the listener, and movement across channels feels smooth instead of abrupt. This stability allows the system to be played loud without becoming fatiguing. Dialogue remains clear and centered, even when the system is pushed well beyond casual listening levels. Bass, while not as aggressive as some competitors, integrates cleanly and adds weight without shaking the entire mix apart. The HT-A7000 excels in open or irregular rooms, where traditional front-heavy soundbars struggle to project evenly. Because sound is generated from multiple points, loudness feels more uniform across seating positions. This makes it especially effective for families or shared spaces where not everyone sits in a perfect sweet spot. While it does not produce the raw chest punch bass of some larger systems, its ability to deliver wide, immersive loudness that remains composed earns it a strong position in the top half of this list. For listeners who want loud Atmos sound that feels expansive rather than aggressive, the Sony HT-A7000 is a standout choice. This is where loudness turns into immersion. If this sounds like your kind of upgrade, like the video, subscribe for honest Atmos rankings and comment whether your room is open or enclosed. Number 4. Bose Smart Soundbar 900 Dolby Atmos Soundbar System. The Bose Smart Soundbar 900 earns the number 4 position because it delivers impressive loudness and punch while preserving clarity and immersive width, making it one of the most commanding Atmos soundbars available in 2026 without entering ultra-high output territory. Bose's tuning philosophy here emphasizes controlled power and spatial expansiveness rather than sheer brute force. And the Smart Soundbar 900 shows it can hold its own even at higher sound pressure levels. In real living rooms, this translates into sound that projects forward with authority and stays open and detailed as volume increases. Bass is firm and impactful for its size, giving effects and music a satisfying physical presence without turning muddy or dominant, especially when paired with the optional Bose bass module 700. What sets the Smart Soundbar 900 apart when driven loud is spatial coherence. Many loud soundbars get big by simply blasting more output, but the 900 maintains a balanced soundstage that doesn't collapse or smear when pushed past typical listening levels. Dialogue remains anchored to the screen thanks to Bose's center channel tuning, which prevents vocals from being swallowed by effects at high SBL. Dolby Atmos height cues feel more pronounced and natural than with most single-bar solutions, giving overhead movement a sense of layering rather than a flat virtual trick. The result is loud playback that feels immersive rather than overwhelming, with energy distributed evenly rather than concentrated only at the front. Another advantage of the Smart Soundbar 900 as a loud system is its integration with Bose's proprietary audio processing. Adaptive algorithms help keep distortion in check, allowing the bar to play louder without harshness creeping into the mix. This makes it comfortable for extended listening at elevated volumes, whether you're watching action movies, live concerts, or gaming, without fatigue. While it doesn't reach the raw room pressurizing output of larger multi-component systems, the Bose Smart Soundbar 900 stands out as one of the few loud Atmos bars that keeps clarity, height presence, and bass control intact even when pushed hard, which is exactly why it earns the number 4 position on this list of the loudest Dolby Atmos soundbars of 2026. Number 3. Samsung HW-Q990D Dolby Atmos Soundbar System. The Samsung HW-Q990D takes the number 3 spot because it combines high maximum output with exceptional control, creating loudness that feels cinematic rather than chaotic. This is a system designed to scale up without losing its shape. As volume increases, the soundstage expands outward and upward, maintaining separation between channels instead of compressing everything into the front. In real living rooms, this makes the Q990D feel louder than its raw SBL number suggests because sound is distributed across the room through multiple speakers rather than forced through a single bar. Dialogue clarity at high volume is one of the Q990D's defining strengths. Even when action scenes push the system hard, voices remain anchored and intelligible. This allows viewers to listen loud without constantly riding the volume control, which is one of the most common frustrations with lesser systems. Bass output is deep and authoritative, adding physical weight to explosions and music, yet remains disciplined enough to avoid turning boomy or muddy. That balance is what allows the Q990D to sustain high output for long periods without listener fatigue. Another reason the Q990D ranks this high is consistency across room sizes. In medium rooms, it feels enveloping and powerful. In larger spaces, it still maintains surround presence and height effects without thinning out. Rear speakers contribute meaningful directional energy, which increases perceived loudness because sound arrives from multiple angles. This multi-point delivery is what separates true loud systems from those that simply blast the front stage harder. For viewers who want big, theater-like volume with polish and reliability, the Samsung HW-Q990D stands as one of the strongest loudness-focused Atmos systems available in 2026. This is the point where most people stop looking. If this already sounds louder than anything you've owned, like the video, subscribe for stress-tested Atmos rankings, and comment whether you'd push this to max volume. Number 2. Nakamichi Shockwafe Ultra/Pro Dolby Atmos Soundbar Systems. The Nakamichi Shockwafe Ultra and Pro series earn the number 2 position because they deliver sustained, room-filling loudness with real surround authority, not just short bursts of volume. Nakamichi's philosophy is unapologetically physical. These systems rely on multiple real speakers, powerful amplification, and dual subwoofers to move air in a way that single-bar designs simply cannot replicate. In real homes, that translates into sound pressure that feels effortless rather than strained. When you push volume upward, the system does not thin out or harden. It grows in scale. Effects expand around the listener. Bass pressurizes the room evenly, and dialogue remains anchored instead of being swallowed by low frequencies. What separates the Shockwave systems from many loud competitors is endurance. Plenty of soundbars can spike loud for a few seconds. Far fewer can sustain high output across an entire movie, concert, or gaming session without fatigue. The Shockwave platforms excel here. Dual subwoofers distribute low-frequency energy across the room, which increases perceived loudness without forcing any single driver to its limit. This also keeps bass tighter and more controlled at extreme levels, avoiding the one-note rumble that often appears when systems are pushed hard. Rear speakers deliver genuine directional energy, which means explosions, crowd noise, and environmental effects arrive from behind with convincing force, further amplifying the sense of loudness without turning the front stage into a wall of noise. Dialogue clarity remains surprisingly strong even when the system is driven aggressively. Voice is cut through dense mixes because the center channel does not collapse under pressure. This makes the Shockwave series especially appealing for users who like to listen loud but still want intelligibility. In large rooms, open-plan spaces, or environments with high ambient noise, these systems thrive. They reward proper placement and room size, delivering a theater-like SBL experience that few soundbars can match. While they're not the most compact or subtle solutions, their ability to deliver big, relentless output with control is exactly why they sit just below the top spot. This is where loud becomes relentless. If you want sound that doesn't back down, like the video, subscribe for real stress-tested audio rankings and comment whether your room is medium or large. Number 1. Nakamichi Dragon Dolby Atmos Soundbar System. The Nakamichi Dragon Dolby Atmos Soundbar System earns the #1 position because it delivers the highest real-world loudness, headroom, and physical impact ever achieved in a soundbar-based system as of 2026. This is not loudness created through aggressive tuning or DSP tricks. It is loudness built on sheer hardware capability. Multiple discrete channels, powerful amplification, real rear speakers, and multiple subwoofers allow the Dragon to move massive amounts of air without strain. From the first high-impact scene, it is immediately clear that this system operates in a different class. Sound does not just get louder. It becomes larger, deeper, and more authoritative, filling the room with a pressure and presence that rivals traditional AV receiver setups. What truly sets the Dragon apart is how it behaves at extreme volume. Many systems sound exciting until pushed near their limits, then fall apart. The Dragon does the opposite. As volume increases, separation improves instead of degrading. Overhead effects remain elevated and directional. Rear channels continue to deliver movement behind the listener. Bass hits with crushing force, but stays layered and controlled rather than collapsing into distortion. This stability under pressure is the defining trait of a truly loud system. It allows listeners to experience reference-level playback without fatigue, compression, or loss of clarity. Dialogue remains locked to the screen even when explosions, music, and effects surge simultaneously. Another reason the Dragon stands alone at the top is room scalability. In large rooms, it fills space effortlessly without sounding stretched. In dedicated media rooms, it delivers near cinema SBL with ease. The system rewards proper placement and space, but even in challenging layouts, it maintains composure better than anything else in this category. This is not a soundbar designed for casual upgrades. It is built for users who want maximum output, maximum immersion, and zero compromise in loudness. In 2026, no other Dolby Atmos soundbar system matches the Dragon's ability to deliver sustained, controlled, and physically overwhelming sound pressure. That is why it stands as the loudest Dolby Atmos soundbar you can realistically buy. Final mega conclusion. Loudness in Dolby Atmos soundbars is not just about turning the volume knob higher. It is about how a system behaves when pushed, how it distributes energy across the room, and how well it maintains clarity under pressure. The soundbars in this list prove that true loudness is a product of hardware commitment, speaker distribution, and power management, not marketing claims. Entry-level Atmos bars may sound impressive at moderate levels, but as you move up this ranking, the difference becomes unmistakable. Sound stops collapsing, dialogue stops disappearing, and bass stops turning into noise. Instead, loudness becomes immersive, controlled, and emotionally engaging. As the list narrows toward the top, the systems stop behaving like accessories and start behaving like real home theater replacements. Mid-tier options deliver excitement and strong SBL for most living rooms. Top-tier systems deliver endurance, scale, and headroom that can handle demanding content at reference-like levels. This distinction matters because loud listening exposes weaknesses faster than any other test. Only systems with genuine power reserves, proper channel separation, and disciplined tuning survive that test without fatigue. Choosing the loudest Dolby Atmos soundbar in 2026 ultimately depends on room size, listening habits, and tolerance for physical impact. Smaller rooms benefit from controlled loudness and balance. Larger rooms demand systems that can move air without strain. The loudest systems reward space and placement, delivering an experience that feels cinematic rather than aggressive. Understanding this prevents disappointment and protects buyers from spending money on systems that cannot deliver what they promise. If this breakdown helped you understand which Dolby Atmos soundbars truly deliver loud, cinematic sound, like the video, subscribe for honest performance-based rankings, and comment which system you would actually push to full volume and why. Your engagement helps keep this channel focused on real testing, real output, and real-world value, not hype.